Welcome back, Slack Tide Nation. Today we're going to get soaking wet outside the St. Andrews Sound between Jekyll Island and Cumberland Island on the coast of Georgia in search of South Georgia tarpon. This is one of those days fishing that we had everything right. We had the tide right. We hit everything perfectly. The fish were there. The bait fish were there. The tarpon was there. Unfortunately, Mother Nature did not cooperate with us. You can see I'm using these free Navionics fishing charts online to kind of show you where we were fishing here between Jekyll and Cumberland Island on the south coast of Georgia. On this chart, you can see the channels leaving both St. Andrews and Jekyll Sound. Sandbars line both sides of this channel, and what we're doing is we're fishing these little cuts in the sandbars that creates rips when the tide runs in and out as the tide comes in and out of the sound. There are these huge schools of bait that'll ride these tides both in and out of the channel, and they're trailed by, schools of shark and tarpon and jacks or whatever's there that's feeding on the bait. We were trying to fish these rips, hoping that these schools of bait would move through and we'd have a couple opportunities to catch a tarpon here or there. Here's my disclaimer. I'm not an expert fisherman. I love to fish, and I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of guys who are fishing guides who take me fishing, and I'm trying to learn some of these things and hopefully put myself on a tarpon. This was our first fish of the day, a little blacktip shark. Sums up my tarpon fishing experience. Lots of sharks and jacks. I've hooked quite a few tarpon, but unfortunately haven't gotten a big one in yet. Our second fish was a saltwater catfish. 2 days before, I caught the largest saltwater catfish I've ever seen in my life, fishing DOAs under a big school of menhaden. And the belly, he must have weighed about 12 pounds. His belly was swollen. He was so full of pogies.
Catfish.
I'm still working on my camera skills when it comes to catching these fish. Hopefully we'll get a little better with it in the future and I'll get some better shots.
Stuck by hand.
Yeah. We're fishing about 2 miles off of Cumberland Island out of a Pathfinder 2200. A friend of mine, Mike, he was nice enough to take me fishing today, and we were on his boat out here. And we had a lot of fun, but you can look in the background. You see those clouds starting to get dark. That's going to play a big part in the rest of our day here, just a few minutes. We landed our second catfish of the day to go along with a few sharks as we waited for this rip to form up behind us.
Oh, he's on.
Unfortunately, as this rip formed behind us and we kind of got in the position we wanted to be with these fish moving in and out of the channel, the skies started to darken and we had some bad weather coming in on top of us. We're bottom fishing 2 rods with a couple of dead pogies on, and we're fishing 1 live one under a cork and a live one in the water column under a ½ ounce weight. If you look right behind the boat, that area is slick water is the rip we're trying to fish there. You really can't tell, but they're menhaden all around us, tail flips left and right, and they're tarpon rolling everywhere. We thought we were going to have a chance to get on some fish here. We try to stick it out. The rain starts coming down a little bit. It's not so bad right now, but it's going to get brutal here in just a second. Unfortunately, it does clear out, but we ended up getting surrounded by thunderstorms, and we had to leave and head on in. In anticipation of this getting worse, I started putting my camera gear away, and it was a wise move. I put my cell phone up and a couple of things that I was worried about getting damaged because of the water. It starts to really come down here, and my buddy Mike, I think he's really starting to question his decision to stay out here. But we were in it. We fished through this, and I think I've got about 3 or 4 minutes of video of it raining like this, but we honestly fished through this probably for 30 or 40 minutes before we decided to pack up and call it a day. What was crazy is there were tarpon everywhere around us. We were still seeing the menhaden tail flips all over. And we were catching sharks, and anytime you get your line tight is a lot of fun. And so I really didn't mind so much. We're out here. It wasn't any thunder and lightning, but I'm catching these little black tips and having a good time.
I feel like the priest at Caddyshack.
That's me making a Carl Spackler reference. If you've never seen the movie Caddyshack, Bill Murray takes the priest out to golf in the middle of a thunderstorm. Guy gets struck by lightning. I kind of felt like that's where we're going. As soon as I hooked up a tarpon, I'd probably get hit by a thunderbolt. You're probably watching this thinking we're crazy for being out here in this, but there wasn't any lightning at this point. And honestly, there were tarpon everywhere. We thought we were going to be close to getting on some of these tarpon. See this rod go down right here? We have a couple of hookups with sharks, and a couple of times they broke us off by biting through the leader. We're fishing these bottom rigs with a 4-ounce egg sinker, 120-pound leader, and 9-aught hook. One of the hazards of fishing like this, though, is you're going to get into some sharks and they're going to chew through some leaders. So you got to bring some hooks. You got to bring a lot of leader when you go out here and do this kind of fishing. If you look closely back behind the boat here to the right of the motor, you're going to see a missed strike by a tarpon on our top rig. That was our best opportunity of the day. It doesn't look like much, but here you can see it on this freeze frame right here where he missed the bait. Man, I wish we'd have had a chance to catch that fish. Here's another shot of it from a different camera over here, just to the right of the motor. You'll see it, that splash, him missing that top bait. Every time one of these rods go down, we get a little bit excited because it might be the one. Unfortunately, it wasn't. We caught a lot of sharks, had a lot of fun, but man, we braved the elements here. We put up a good fight, but Mother Nature was not relenting. It's really nasty out here at this point. We're looking at each other like, what are we doing? Between fish, all we did was just kind of sit there and chuckle at each other. A lot of people don't think of Georgia when they think of tarpon fishing, but during the summer months, these tarpon move in here, and they're here September and sometimes up to October, as long as the water stays pretty warm. I'm going to stop talking for a second and turn the sound back up and let you listen to this rain while I fight this fish. To me, life is about having great experience and building memories. Had a great day on the water. Even if the water was nasty, I got some great stories to tell, great memories of going out here with a friend of mine and doing this, even if we got soaking wet. It was a really hot July morning. We didn't have great weather, but we caught fish all day long. I mean, we didn't get our tarpon, and I'm still chasing one of those things, but eventually I know I'm going to get one. And despite the weather, we never really stopped catching fish. Granted, those fish were sharks, but we had a chance to get out on the water and spend some time together and have a little fun. It was well worth the day. You see, I'm hooked up on one fish, fighting this fish. We get it to the boat, and even while I'm doing this, another rod's going to go down, and I'm going to pass this one off to Mike and go hopefully catch my tarpon, but it wasn't. Another little black tip. So we're going to save that tarpon for another day. I'd like to remind you, if you're enjoying the content of the Slack Tides channel, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, and I encourage all you guys to get out there and do the things you enjoy to love. Make it a priority in your life. I know we get tied down with work and the grind of daily life, but fulfillment in life doesn't come from the things you own. It comes from the friends you have, the relationships you make, and the experiences that you all have together. I'm very appreciative of guys like Mike who take their time to bring me out and try to teach me how to fish. I'm going to land this fish, and then I'm going to leave you with a boat ride back to the St. Simons Marina. On your left over there, you'll see Jekyll Island. We're making good time trying to beat these storms that are raining down on our head. I hope you like this video, and I encourage you to go out and find your own slack tide to enjoy somewhere.